We have a feature called App Clone that allows us to use two versions of the same app. We just need to enable this toggle and go to the home screen and enter the edit mode. You will be able to see the plus button for the apps that support this feature. As of now, only WhatsApp and WeChat are compatible. Soon we might be able to see other apps too. Next, we have an app lock built into the phone itself. You have the settings in the fingerprint section. For the first time, you need to set up a password and select the apps that you want to lock. You can choose to unlock the locked application with your fingerprint or by using the password. To use the fingerprint scanner, you need to first enable this toggle in the fingerprint settings. This feature allows you to use the beauty mode from the front-facing camera even while you make video calls from apps like WhatsApp. It just makes you look pretty even on video calls. Most of the phones doesn't offer this feature. There is an awesome feature called Super Saver mode in your control center. Once you enable this mode, screen brightness goes down, all the apps will be stopped, and you will get very limited set of options like calls and messages. It might not look fancy, but this mode will drastically improve your battery life. Use this mode when you are very low on battery. To take a screenshot on this phone, you can press and hold the volume down and power buttons. But if you have a hard time doing that or want additional features, we can use Super Screenshot. Just open the control center and press this toggle. First, we can take long screenshots. Just press the next button to keep it scrolling. Next, we can take rectangular shots. We can draw doodles and take screenshots with all kinds of shapes. And finally, we can also record the screen. All the phones running Android Nougat and above offer split screen mode, the feature where you can run two applications side by side. But Vivo offers a stripped down version of it. It only works on very limited number of apps. You can swipe using 3 fingers to start this mode. We can resize the window, switch them, and even close one of these windows. If you try to do the same gesture with other apps, this will not work, which is like a very bad thing. Unlike previous Vivo phones, this phone has on-screen buttons, and from here, you can change the button position. And if you want, you can try something new. You can go with the sliding gestures. You can slide from the right for back, slide from the center for home, and slide from the left for recent apps button. You can swipe from the corners to bring out the control center. By the way, you need to swipe where the virtual buttons were previously visible. The default video player on Vivo allows you to play videos in a floating window. Just play a video and press this button at the bottom to start playing the video in a floating window. We can move it around, play or pause it, and do some other stuff. By the way, we can swipe up or down on the right side to change the volume, and swipe on the left side to change the brightness, and swipe left or right to change the playback position. In settings, we have the option for Smart Click. It's a quick shortcut that allows you to perform some actions when we press and hold the volume down button on lock screen. I prefer to use the flash. When the phone is locked, press and hold the volume down button to toggle flash. By the way, it doesn't work if you are playing music. We can also do other stuff like recording audio, opening the camera app, and do other stuff. This feature is also called night mode or reading mode in other phones. You can turn it on by using this toggle or based on a specific time, which is a very cool thing. This mode protects your eyes at night by filtering blue light. One of the USPs of this phone is hi-fi audio, and it does deliver to some extent. If you want to get better audio experience, in the sound settings, enable hi-fi audio for your default music player. For the best experience, you should have high quality audio and good headset too. If this phone is too big for your hand, you can enable one-handed mode from the settings to shrink the screen size. You can use a quick gesture to enter this mode and do the same thing once again to come out of it. We can also enable one-handed mode for the keypad and pattern lock. Once you do that, this is how they look. As you can see, there are a lot of gestures from unlocking the phone to opening multiple applications with different gestures. And the one I prefer the most to use is slide down to open the camera app. You can swipe up to unlock the phone, draw a C for phone dialer, draw E for the browser. It works really well if you don't have a password set up, or else it'll ask you to first unlock the phone. They did give us 2 toggles, but I don't know which one actually works. I simply turn both of them on. When your device is locked, simply swipe over the proximity sensor to have a quick glance at the notifications and the time. It is a super cool feature to show off, but it also pops up unnecessarily from time to time. And this phone doesn't have an AMOLED display, so if you keep doing it, it will drain the battery. This is probably my favorite features of all. Once we enable these two toggles, we can double tap the phone to wake it up and double tap it to put it back to sleep. By the way, double tap to sleep works only on the lock screen and the default launcher. Next we have raise to wake. Once you enable this toggle, you can simply lift your phone from a flat surface to wake it up. We also have other smart features which I suggest you to check them out yourself. We can use this feature to mirror the screen of your phone to a smart TV or a Chromecast. Next we have schedule power on and power off. From these settings, we can automatically power off and power on your phone. It might help you if you want to automate it, but rebooting the phone drains battery much faster. We also have themes. It changes the wallpapers, icons and fonts, but all this is limited only to the home screen. Once you enable this toggle, you can shake the phone in the lock screen or the home screen to turn on the flash. I had more of a hit or a miss relationship with this feature. Most of the time it didn't work, so I recommend you to skip this feature. Now those were the features. Now let's look at some important tips and tricks. This phone has a massive screen with an 18:9 aspect ratio, and this ratio is not supported by all the apps by default. This is Flipkart and this is Subway Surfers game. They don't take up all the screen. Most of the time, apps are scaled automatically, but if they don't, you can use this setting to scale the apps. Now, if you open them again, these apps will fill the screen completely. As you might already know, we have the notification toggles at the bottom, like the previous iOS. Using this toggle, we can disable that from showing up in regular apps. If you disable this toggle, you need to go to home screen every time to access these toggles. This is what Vivo calls the control center, and we have all the notification toggles for Wi-Fi, Bluetooth and many more here. By pressing this button, we can rearrange these toggles like this. Just in case you didn't know or you never tried, from Nougat, you can directly write replies to messages on WhatsApp or Facebook from the notification bar like this. When you press the square button, this is what shows up. It's the recent apps page. It basically lists all the apps that are running in the background or the apps that you previously opened. Most of the time, this phone kills the apps to save some battery life. So if you have any important app that you don't want to get killed or stopped, you can lock it and unlock it like this. You can do it for all the apps that you use frequently to make your phone look faster. There is a view called Heads Up Notification. If you choose that, every time you get a notification, you get a card-like preview at the top of the screen. If you like it and want to go with it, you can keep the Heads Up notification enabled. If you find it annoying, select No Preview, and once you do that, every time you get a notification, you will see the notification icon on the status bar. By default, this phone is configured to kill all the apps running in the background when you lock the phone or even after some time. So if you don't want specific apps to be killed, you can whitelist them from these settings. Did you ever wonder how to change the default launcher or the default browser on Vivo phone? This is how you do it. It's a very important thing. This is something everyone needs to know. Like any other complete Android phone, Vivo V7 Plus also comes with an LED notification light, and the choice to use it or not is left up to you. If you want to use the LED notification light, then enable this pulse light toggle. It's hard to see, but this phone has a LED light on the top. Show battery and network usage. If you want to show the battery percentage and network usage on the status bar, enable these toggles. And this is how it looks. If you want to change the display screen on time, you need to change this auto lock time. For some reason, Vivo chose to put it here instead of the display settings like everyone else.